Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 55 Live podcast here in conjunction with the WZWA Network. I am your host for tonight's proceedings, Karlifornia and Fury. Unfortunately, my co-host Jack Wallace could not be with us here tonight, but that's okay because I'm going to have fun with my guest here tonight. Today for him, actually. He's former WWF Light Heavyweight Champion, the longest reigning Light Heavyweight Champion in the history of the World Wrestling Federation / entertainment. He's also a journeyman. He's been in the business and he's retired now, but 30 long years. This is the one and the only Gillberg. How you going, Duane?
Hey, how you doing, brother? How's everything going, man?
Everything's great.
I'll tell you what, an introduction, man. It's been a while since I had one like that.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. I have been a big fan of yours, going back to 1998 when I first saw you perform. So this is a thrill for me to get the chance to talk to you, sir.
Awesome. Well, one more stat in there. If you go to singles champions, I'm the 8th longest reigning champion of all time.
Right, you made the top 10.
Yeah, I'm like, man, this is awesome. I mean, because I'm one of the biggest, I guess you could say, marks in the world. That's why I became a wrestler, man. I love wrestling.
Absolutely. And that's kind of like where I like to start things off with the interview, is kind of asking everyone their origin story of how they became a fan of wrestling.
Oh, dude, I grew up watching WWF. I'm talking back Bruno Sammartino days and everything, and it was great. You know what I mean? And I used to, if I was playing baseball on a field and somebody, because it only came on at 4:00 Saturdays, from 4 to 5 on Saturdays, and if they said, "Oh, it's 3:45," I would drop the bat and run as fast as I could home, because my father would be sitting there with a bowl of popcorn waiting for me. Then we moved to Florida when I became a teenager, and we got standing reservations at the Eddie Graham Sports Arena. We were right on the aisle where they came out, 3 rows back from the ring. I watched Eddie Graham, Dusty Rhodes, Steve Kern, all of them. They all started. I mean, Dusty when he first started, all the Wyndhams, all that, man. When they first started, I watched them. And then later on, I was watching wrestling with who became my partner, Barry Hardy. And I used to always know Barry, because we lived in an apartment complex. I lived to the left, and his door was to the right. And I'd be like, "Come on, man, wrestling's on." He'd go, "I ain't watching that fake shit, man. I ain't watching that." And I would go over and watch wrestling and then come back and we would hang out, right? Well, then, time goes on. He got married. I got married. We moved apart, you know what I mean? And I'm watching wrestling one day with my wife, and I go, "Hey, baby, isn't that Barry?"
No way.
But a lot bigger. And she goes, "Yeah, but look what he did to his hair and all, man, because he dyed the skunk look and all." So I got right on the phone and called his mother. And his mother goes, "He's home. That's pre-recorded." I go, "Really? Give me his number." So I called him. And he goes, "Dude, I have been looking high and low for you. Where do you live now?" And I told him my address. He goes, "No way." I said, "Why?" He said, "That's like a quarter mile from my house." I said, "Really? What's your address?" So he told me. I went immediately over his house. And that night, I started taking hip tosses, back bumps, and all on concrete. That's no lie.
Really? That's definitely a tough way to start doing your first bumps in wrestling.
Yeah, and then we laid some pads down, and some old carpet we had, and then we bought a ring. And Barry Hardy is who taught me and took me to the Monster Factory, because that's where he trained. And,
right.
Yep. And I went up there, and Larry Sharp, he said, "Larry, I got a guy. He's ready to do jobs, man." And he goes, "You think so?" And he goes, "Yeah." So we went up there and we were doing a match. And I had this thing that I could do where, you come in the hard way where you're outside the ring and a guy pulls the rope and you go over the top, land in the ring. Well, I could go all the way across the ring and hit and go out the other side.
Right.
And it would look like, "Oh my God, he slung him all the way across the ring,"
Yeah.
And I did it as Larry Sharp was walking out of his office. And he goes, whoa, 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 stop, 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 stop. And Larry was walking out of his office with the Soul Taker. Do you know who the Soul Taker is?
Oh God, it rings a bell.
It's the
Uh,
God.
yeah, before he
He
was
was like 6'8", 375, 380. He was a gigantic monster, man, with this mohawk. I mean, the Godfather was freaky huge, and he goes, let me see that again. I don't believe I saw what I think I just saw. And we're like, what? And he goes, the way he won across the ring. We said, sure. So we started doing the punch. He goes, no, stop. Don't punch. Don't do nothing. Pull him in the ring. So I went, bow, and I hit, and I stood up and was leaning on the rope like that. And I go, how was that? And he goes, you can go. Just like that.
Awesome, man.
But I did look at Barry, and I said, hey, Barry. He goes, yeah. I go, do we have to wrestle guys that big? Looking at the Godfather. He goes, oh, hell yeah.
Awesome.
I was like, oh, no, we're dead.
So this is around 1990. You start to make your debut on the American independent wrestling scene.
Like,
And
80, about 90. Yeah, it was 90s. Yes, it was.
yeah, and you and your friend Barry had a team called the Lords of Darkness. Tell me a little bit about that team.
Oh man, we love that team, man. I made these cause see, I'm a carpenter. I consider myself a very good carpenter. I made these big giant battle axes. We took sheets of metal and I cut them out and made battle axes. We made handles and everything. Oh, it was awesome, man. We wore makeup. We had flash pots and we had everything, man. The fog, we would have fog coming out and we had flash pots go off and all. And we went to the ring. It was awesome. We were tag team champions in like 5 leagues at one time.
Really?
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool.
Cool. So at that time in the early 90s, was it an easy way to live off being an independent wrestler, or were you doing carpentry as well?
Yeah, no, I had to have the carpentry too. You no way. You live off independent wrestling unless you're a name. You can do it if you're a name. You can live off independent wrestling, but now as an up and coming wrestler, you know how it is, man. It's $50, $75 a match. You can't live off of that. Especially I had a family and all, because I mean, many times Jimmy Hart had told Barry and I, if you guys can go to Memphis, you will be big stars. And we couldn't do it because we both had families, and you know how Memphis is. That's $50 a night, man.
Yeah.
You can't run a family on $50 a night. We couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. But I lucked out and got the call. You know what I mean?
Right, and you did get the call, I guess, to go to the WWF 91 to start working a few shows, with them on Wrestling Challenge and Superstars.
Yeah, Barry got me up there. Barry got me up there. Very sharp and all. And when we were doing that, man, everybody was like, why do you go up there and get your ass kicked like that? But yet you come back and you're such big stars on the independents. And I go, well, how do you get to be the best unless you wrestle in the best with the best?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's how you become, a good wrestler. You have to do it all the time, and every chance you get to wrestle. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's a written rule in the business. You never, ever go near a wrestling show without your gear. Never.
Absolutely, yeah.
Somebody can get caught in traffic. Somebody will no-show. Somebody could be hurt. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And somebody could be excited and their heart rate could be up. And doctor say, nope, you ain't wrestling tonight. Well, you wrestle. You know what I mean? You never go near a wrestling show without your boots. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I remember Lance Storm told a story once where he just visited a house show in Calgary, and Vince McMahon walked up to him and said, did you bring your gear? And Lance said, yeah. He said, okay, cool, because we need someone to wrestle Eddie Guerrero tonight. So there we go.
See that? I mean, unbelievable. I believe I got most of my, chances because I had my gear with me. Because that's the way wrestling is. I mean, I was off TV 2.5 years with injuries, and all of a sudden I ain't seen WWF. And there I get a call from Howard Finkel, and he's like, hey, Duane Gill. I said, Howard, how you doing, buddy? He said, good. I found you. I said, yeah. He said, all right, I need you to come up this date, and this date. And I said, well, why am I coming up? One of them's a pay-per-view. He goes, yeah, I know. I said, I don't do pay-per-views, man. You know that. And he goes, all I know is Vince said, find Duane Gill.
Right.
He said, I found Duane Gill. I didn't even know I was the mystery opponent to Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
Until like an hour before we went on.
Right.
I was just sitting there in the locker room, and that's when Mick came up to me, and he goes, hey, Duane. I said, what? And he goes, why ain't you getting ready? I go, it's pay-per-view, Mick. He goes, no, you're the mystery opponent, dude. And I went, what? He goes, yeah, you're working me tonight.
I guess he must have really left a good impression with Vince from back in the day.
Yeah, well, you know, like what it was is Barry and I we just wanted to work. That's why we came up with the Executioners. We tried to come up with the turtle gimmick. We tried everything. You know what I mean? I told Vince one time, I said, Vince, I don't care if you dress us up as two turds and call us get your shit together. We just want a job.
Yeah.
And we worked. I don't know if you know it. I'm sorry.
That's
but
okay.
We worked, I mean, house shows. We did 20, 25 house shows a month for years, Barry and I. We were on the B tour for years. We were never contracted, but we made good money up there.
Oh, that's great. I was doing some research on you, and I'd seen that you'd worked with The Undertaker, you worked with Sergeant Slaughter, Jim Duggan, Texas Tornado, Kamala. Do you have any stories of working with any of those top guys? Anything that might be a bit interesting?
I got a funny one. I messed up in a match against Razor Ramon.
Okay.
He was giving me a big spot, dude. You know, on a TV shot, a jobber, getting a big spot. You know, Razor was giving me that's when he was having that little feud with the 1, 2, 3 kid and all, you know what I mean? So
right.
The jobbers have a spot in there. So he gave me a big spot, man. I was doing great. Boom, boom, boom. And I forgot, man, one little thing. And he goes, you fucked up. He's beat the shit out of you. He's yelling at me the whole time. Man, you missed your spot. We had him, man. You son of a bitch. Sorry, Razor. You know, that's what happens in there. You know what I mean? And I love working Taker. I mean, when it was time to work the Taker, it was like, hey, Gil, yeah, I got you tonight. What are you going to do? I'll see you out there. Yeah. You know? Taker was the best, you know? Because you're working, you know, 10 or 12 times, you know everything he does, just follow the lead, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I guess that's a big part of what your job was at that time in the professional wrestling business. I guess what do they like? They like to call it enhancement talent.
Yeah. Well, see that I'm not enhancement talent, brother. I was a jobber. I wanted to do a job. My job was to go out there and make them look good. That's what I did. I loved it. I love wrestling, dude. Imagine, super fan, right?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're sitting in the locker room with Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, British Bulldog. You understand what I'm saying? The Model, Rick Martel, Tony Gurria, Renee Goulet, Blackjack Lanza. You're like, whoa, man. You know what I mean? I was in heaven. And then it's like, well, you're wrestling in. Oh, shit, man. I remember when I wrestled the Road Warriors. We're in the ring, right? You want a funny story?
Yeah.
We're in the ring. Second time up there. You wrestling the Road Warriors. Okay, we're in the locker room. Yeah, what's up, guys? You know, how's it going? Yeah, they don't have makeup on or nothing yet, right? So, all right, now it comes time. We're out in the ring. Here we go. Here they come. They walk in. Animal looks across the ring at me and goes, dude, I back up. Oh. Bump into Barry. I go, hey. You know this shit's fake, right, Barry? He goes, get out of my way. I want the belt. I'm going to break you in half, right? I'm going, shut up, man. Shut up. I got to get in that ring. This is the God's honest truth, man. I'm pushing, going, shut up, man. Shut the hell up, right? So then match goes on. Tag, I'm in there. Oh, shit. I'm in there with the Road Warriors. Oh, my God. I'm going to shit my pants. I mean, I'm scared to death, right?
Yeah.
Hulk grabs me, pushes me in the ropes, goes, clothesline, brother. Lifts me off, and I'm running. I'm looking back going, he talked to me. Talk to Dude, I shit you not, man. Luckily, I was God gifted because I had begged Animal. I said, dude, give me the power slam. He's like, I'm going to give it to your partner there because, Barry was the, solider, bigger looking, stronger person. So that's who he would give it to because, it was like power against power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said, trust me, Animal. Give me the power slam. He goes, okay, brother. So we get in there. He goes, power slam. Rips me off, bro. I came off. He was tiptoeing, had his arms as high as he could, and I was higher than his hands, and he caught me on the way down. Boom. When we hit so hard that he stood right back up like this. And I was like, man, we got in the back. He goes, what a power slam. I said, told you, brother. Told you, man. I said, you guys, man, part of the reason I'm in here. That's why I became a wrestler.
Yeah, and you're making people look good, and you're getting a good reputation because of that.
That was my job. That's why I made the paycheck. That it's like you're a carpenter, go build that wall. You know what I mean? Well, my thing was to tell the story with them and show that they are invincible. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's what the jobber was, so that you could pack the houses when the names wrestled the names. That was the whole point. The jobbers were on TV, which you would watch the name come out and see that he is badass and super strong, good guy or a really bad guy, right? And then it would be that good guy against the bad guy at the house show that you couldn't see on TV. You know what I mean? And that's what would pack the houses, man. And that's why I loved being a jobber. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And if people say enhancement talent and extra, no, I was a jobber, dude. That's why I wore the shirt you wear right now. And thank God for Al Snow. I say it every. Thank God for Al Snow, because what a better place for Duane Gill than the Job Squad. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
I was so honored and proud to be part of that group. It's unbelievable because all the peers in there, Meanie, Too Cold Scorpio, Bob Holly, Al Snow, man. What a better group of people to be around.
Yeah, man, it was a great group, and I wanted to get back to where you were before when we were talking about Survivor Series 1998. Believe it or not, this was the show that I became a wrestling fan from seeing for the first time. This was the first full show that I'd seen, so you were on the first show that I ever watched, and I was hooked, just like that. And I remember seeing this Duane Gill guy come out. The commentators talk about how Mankind's opponent ended up being Duane Gill. Obviously, Mankind's going to be getting the victory here. So you were the first jobber, I guess if you like that term, that I ever saw on pay-per-view. So how was that finally for the first time ever being on pay-per-view?
That actually got me my job as Gillberg. As Duane Gill on the Job Squad, because Gillberg, if you know or not, was not the longest reigning champion. Duane Gill was on the title as Duane Gill. And what happened was that night on the way out, I was walking out and I looked up and they had me getting beat. Everybody putting their finish on me, like Superfly flying down on me, Taker tombstoning me and all. And I was talking to the fans. I'm going, check it out, man. That's me up there. Yeah, baby. Had a little bit of music and everything. I was all happy. Check it out. That's me. And then they set the pyro off. Well, what they didn't know, I had this all planned. The pyro goes off. Remember, I dropped flat down. Boom. What was that, man? And I got up and I was like, I knew that was going to happen. Everybody cracked up, right? And then I went down into the ring. Mankind came in. Boom, bam, boom, boom. Good night. Right? What was it, 23 seconds or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely mauled you. It was fantastic.
It
Absolute
really
champagne
was.
television.
Because
Um,
Vic gave his big, elaborate entrance, and then he goes, "Here he is, the man, the myth, Duane Gill." There was 19,000 people in there, boy, and you could hear a cricket over in the corner.
how were things
I
received when
kid
you
you
got backstage?
It was awesome. So, how I say it got the job was because Ed Farrar and them, the writers, the head
Yes.
writers, were watching the show that night, and they watched what I did, and they were all like, "Look at this guy, man. He's just happy to be there. He just wants to be there." Man, wait a minute. And then they're that's Duane Gill, super jobber and all that. Let's put him on the job squad. It's give him the title and put him on the job squad.
Yeah, awesome, man. So you're in the job squad. You guys are doing a little bit on television. I guess you feud a little bit with the Brood. And November 17, 1998 is obviously, a very important date in your career, winning the Light Heavyweight Championship after defeating Christian on Monday Night Raw. And I just watched this before we did the interview because I wanted to freshen myself up on that moment. How did that feel for you after all these years of being a jobber, but then you're on television, you're in the job squad, and you win the Light Heavyweight Championship on Monday Night Raw? That must have been incredible.
Uh, 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 a little, a little kid's, that little kid's dream come true, man. I mean, you win the World Series, you win the Super Bowl. I won the light heavyweight title, brother. I literally, if you remember, I was looking at it like this, and when I held it up backwards. I was showing everybody the back of the belt. The belt was behind me. I was like, man, what can I do now? But yeah, now I literally went in Vince's office and thanked him, and Shane and everybody cried my eyes out, man. It was a little kid's dream.
That's awesome.
Like the next day, they were all going, "What the hell?" And they're looking at the side of my face, and they're going, "Light heavyweight. You slept with the belt, didn't you?" Like the imprint. I still remember I was in the room, and I was staying with Thrasher, the headbangers.
Yeah.
And, he goes, "Okay, the door's shut. You can do it." I said, "What?" He goes, "What you want to do?" I said, "Okay, whatever, got the belt." I'm like, yeah, jumped up and down. He goes, "I did the same thing, man. We won."
Yeah, we only interviewed him about 3-4 weeks ago.
Glenn Ruth, Thrasher, Glenn Ruth. Remember I was telling you about when I came out of, when I was wrestling and Larry Shark came out of the office? I was wrestling Glenn Ruth.
Right, okay.
That was the first day I met Glenn Ruth. Back
Cool.
in 88, I believe it was.
Cool. Yeah, we interviewed him maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago. He's a great guy.
Awesome person, man. Awesome person. He's crazy, man. I tell you, he's crazy. We've done some crazy stuff, man. That's for sure.
So I guess it's what's that?
We used to feud the Lords of Darkness and the Spiders.
Oh, of course.
Yep, up in Jersey. We feuded for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a long-standing friendship right there.
Oh, I love him to death, man. He's a good guy. He used to be my tag team partner too when Barry wasn't around.
Yeah.
Fair.
So I wanted to transition to the part where it's. I mean, I'm sure you've answered this question a million times, but I've never heard the answer of who was the person that came up to you and mentioned we have this idea to do a parody of Goldberg and call you Gillberg.
I made it up. On the independents, when I started wrestling again after I was injured, a guy named Mark Osborne was working with MCW. And we were making up funny things. Like I did Stone Old. Yeah. Stone Old. With pool swimmies on my leg, like big braces, and walking with a walker and all, I did the Underfaker. And I did Gillberg. And what happened was I was in the locker room as Duane Gill on the road, and I was talking to Paul Bear and Kane standing backstage, and we were bull crapping, and I was telling the story that I was doing on the Independents, making fun of the boys. And I said, yeah, and I did Gillberg. And I still remember Paul Bear looking at me going, oh, Duane Gill, you may have something there, boy. And I went, what do you mean, Burks? And he goes, oh, I don't know. You know what I mean? So, in all honesty, I got to thank Percy, Paul Bear, for basically getting Gillberg on, because he went right to the office and told him. The rest of that night, when I talked to him, every time I walked by him in the hallway, him and Kane were going, Gillberg, because they thought it was funny as hell. So the next day, when I went into catering, it was a TV taping. I went into catering. Most of the boys are going, Gillberg. I stood straight out and went, ah. They all laughed their ass off, and I thought that was the end of it. So 3 days later, I'm at home, and I get a call from the office, and they go, hey, here you do this Gillberg parody? Oh, yeah, I play around. Well, bring your stuff. You're now Gillberg. I said, whoa. They said, what? And I said, I don't want to lose my title. And they went, oh, no, that's the beauty of it. You'll wrestle heavyweights.
Yeah.
You can't lose a light heavyweight title to heavyweights. I went, okay, sounds good to me. I'm in for it. So that's what we did, man. And I went back in there, and they honestly had no clue what I was going to do, and they wanted me to wrestle Edge. And I said, come on, man, you want to make fun of the guy? Give me Luna. And Luna's going, Duane, no, this is Raw, man. No, give me Luna. And she's going, no. And I said, Luna, in real life, you can probably kick my ass. Go do it. And she's like, okay, if you want to. And they're like, damn, like, I like it, man, So we went out, we did the match, and halfway through the match, we ran, if you remember, stopped right in each other. She goes, I'm lost. And I went, ball shot. There was no ball shot in that match. So she dropped down, she reached up, and she smacked my ass as hard as she could. And when she did, I caught her leg in between my arms. I caught her arm in between my legs. And I went, oh, as loud as I could, right in her face. And she's going, let go of me, you son of a bitch. I swear, I'm going to kill you, Duane. I'm going to kill you. I'm gonna, oh, right in her face. And I'm like, oh, you son of a, oh, and I fell over, and I still had a hold of her arm.
Awesome.
Oh, it was hilarious. That's when I got my highest honor in wrestling. When I walked back through that curtain, there was not a producer, a McMahon, a television guy, a wrestler, nobody who wasn't standing there laughing their asses off, clapping like a son of a gun. All the women had makeup running down their face because they were laughing so hard at it and everything. And then I remember I turned around, and Luna came in and bowed, like the Orientals do, got on her knees and started bowing at my feet. I grabbed her, man. I stood her up. I said, Luna, don't you ever do that to me. She said, I'm showing you respect. I said, Luna, I respect you for what you just did for me. You just exploded my career, girl. Thank you. I gave her a big hug, and I love Luna, man. Very sad that she's gone. Luna was awesome.
Absolute shame, man. She was a legend.
She was, man, you don't know. She was known, Luna Vachon, crazy bitch. But she was the kindest woman you ever want to meet. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So what did you think on February 8, 1999, when you found out that you were going to be defeating Goldust? Did you think that was the right idea, or should the character not be winning any matches?
The truth being said, I was supposed to pin Goldust 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. Goldust was pissed and complained And that's why they came up with the Blue Meanie. Blue Meanie was going to do that after I pinned him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Blue Meanie was going to come out, and then I was going to roll out Gold Dust, 1, 2, 3, boom, end of the match. No, it didn't happen that way. You had to come up with a whole other way. I'm not losing. Some people have egos.
Yeah.
I'm not losing to him. That's Duane Gill. He's the jobber. He's also light heavyweight champion now. You know what I mean? He's not the jobber no more.
Exactly.
So, but oh well, it is what it is.
Yeah, that is disappointing to hear. Obviously you had done the favor for so many people. When it's time for someone to do the favor for you, it's not really fair that they would have that attitude.
Bingo.
So as a massive fan of wrestling yourself, it must have been a thrill for you, August 31st, 1999, on an edition of SmackDown to compete for the WWF Championship against Triple H.
Dude, go ahead. I'm sorry. That
no.
wasn't a moment.
I mean, I watched it again earlier tonight. I'd seen it before though, and but when I interviewed James Ellsworth, it was the same thing. He's talking about his moment standing in the ring, going for the WWE Championship, having to pinch himself. You get the same thing as well many years prior. Yeah. How did you feel?
What happened was Pat Patterson was the agent for that match, right? I mean, I could tell you the stuff from behind the scenes.
Yes.
And he came in, and Triple H was sitting there, and I was sitting there, and he goes, "Look, I'm sorry, Duane, but look, Triple H is just gonna come in, he's gonna pummel you, and that's gonna be it." Okay, no problem. Pat walks out of the room. Triple H goes, "Fuck that, man." He goes, "Listen, Duane, we're gonna tear the roof off this place." I go, "Really?" He said, "Listen, if you spear me," he said, "this fucking place is going to fall apart. And if I sell it real good and get back up and you spear me again, they're going to go crazy."
Yeah.
He said, "Then if you spear me again, they're going to go nuts." He said, "And then I'll get up like in the corner for the fourth one and you, man, make all the belt's mine, the belt's mine, the belt's mine. Everybody's going to be freaking. But then I'm going to move. And you're going to hit the corner. Then I'm going to wear a chair out on you."
Yeah. I
said, "That sounds awesome, dude." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, "No, really, man." He said, "Christ, dude, I gotta make you leave on a stretcher. I want to give you, if you do this, we're gonna tear the roof off the friggin' place." And dude, I have never, ever heard pops like that in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I gave him a big hug in the back. He's like, "Brother, man, listen to that crowd, man." He said, "Did you hear it?" And I said, "Yes, I did." He said, "Exactly what we want every time we go out, don't we? Good guy to cheer for, bad guy they boo." He said, "After they cheered their hearts out, we broke their hearts by me beating the hell out of you." I'll tell you, he bent that chair. Did you see it? He tore that up, man. Tore that chair up. You want to know the funny part?
What's that?
I didn't feel this.
Really?
Feel that. That's how good that man is. He is the best, man. I love that guy to death. He's awesome. I was there when he came in and was talking to him. I remember when he came in.
Yeah. And then all years later,
first Helmsley. Man, me and Barry sit back there. Cause see, I remember when Taker came in. I was sitting there, "Hey, Mark, man, what the hell are you doing here?" He's like, "They got me doing some dead man gimmick or whatever." And he was actually holding up 4 or 5 different drawings of things they wanted him to do.
Right.
Yeah. I was there for a long time.
I was very curious as to why around that late 1999 period that there was several months where you weren't on television. What was going on there?
I went to WCW and went over the top rope and completely exploded my rotator cuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was wrestling Hugh Morris.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that you went over there.
He threw me over the top, and down there, if you go over the top, it's a disqualification. He threw me over the top, disqualified. But when I I caught myself to pivot. My shoulder exploded. I couldn't. It was like jelly. I couldn't even pick it up.
Right. So, did you leave the WWF in late '99 to go to WCW?
No, I didn't leave it. I just went down and did some jobs. You know, I was going to do some jobs.
Okay.
They didn't have me on for a little bit, so I went down there, and then I got hurt, and that's when, you know, that's when all that happened. Actually, it was back in 98, I got hurt.
Right.
And then I went on for a while, and then in 99, they brought me back. Wasn't it in 99 they brought me back?
Right. So you were off television for a few months before returning on February 13th, 2000 on Sunday Night Heat to drop the championship to the debuting S.A. Rios. What led to the phone call to be brought back to drop the title after all this time?
They just called me and said, you know, come on back. We need you to drop your title. I said, okay, no problem, whatever. Sounds good.
Yep, and I remember that was the debut of Lita as well.
Player, man. That's what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was Lita's debut as well, and I remember as a 13-year-old kid falling in love that night as well. So 15-month reign ends. You leave the WWF and you go on to the independent circuit, I suppose, after that.
Yes,
Were you making a good amount of money coming off WWF television?
Yeah, I was doing okay. But where I messed up was you don't realize that when you're making all that money and you raise your cost of living,
yeah,
when you lose that job that you're making that high dollars and you're not making all those high dollars anymore, that your bank account goes
right.
And you don't realize it till you go, hey, I'm broke. What the hell happened?
Right, yeah.
You're living in a house larger than you're used to, driving cars better than you're used to. You know what I mean? And
right.
then you drop back down to where you are. Now I'm back to where I was, and, you know, I'm happy.
That's good. What did you do to make ends meet? Did you just dip back into carpentry?
Oh, yeah. That's it. I'm a carpenter, man, through and through. I'm a partner now.
I suppose there must be a pretty big story behind your appearance in 2003 after Goldberg had finally made it over to the WWE and he was feuding with The Rock. Tell me about, you getting the phone call and you're finding out that you're actually going to be face-to-face with the guy you've been parodying for many years.
I wasn't worried about it, you know what I mean? I ain't worried about it, you know? And I met him, shook his hand, told him, hey, what's up? He's like, hey. He goes, hey, how you doing? Oh, hey. And he looked back down and he said, oh, yeah, I've been waiting to meet you. And I said, well, I'll see you. We'll be out in the ring. But I actually am very upset because I lost the camera. I had a cameraman and I took a bunch of pictures that night. He was really cool about it, even though he hates my guts. And
right.
He was really cool about it and took a bunch of pictures, but I lost the camera, so somebody got a good souvenir, that's for sure.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So was there ever any talk of you having a match against Goldberg at all?
I even asked him. This match, I said, you can bury Gillberg. I said, we'll call it an end. Everything. I said, you'll make $1 million, I'll make 100,000. I can actually retire. I said, this time I know what to do with my money.
Yeah.
I said, I can retire. I'll make 100,000. You'll make $1 million. That was it.
Right. Well, that's a shame.
I asked earlier, why isn't there a Gillberg doll? Why isn't there a Duane Gill doll? There's every doll in the Job Squad, but no Duane Gill.
Yeah.
Gillberg doll. I just did the Festival of Friends. They made a whole set, the Festival of Friends, even the little pictures, everything, but no Gillberg doll.
Right.
Why isn't there a Gillberg now? I understand Goldberg has it. From what I understand, I don't have it in writing, don't know, but people I ask, let's just say it's in somebody's contract that Gill gets nothing.
Right.
I mean, if I was in a video game or had a doll, that's retirement money, man. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's a lot of money, brother.
Yeah,
And
that's a
they
shame.
won't do it. I mean, do you know what a Gillberg Goldberg box set would bring? I guarantee it would sell out because
Yeah,
everybody would be able to
definitely.
take Goldberg and beat up the little Gillberg and everything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It really would. It would sell out, man.
Yeah, and as a fan back then, I was like thinking when you two were face to face on Raw and he grabbed you around the throat, I thought that definitely there's going to be a match taking place. As a fan, I was expecting it. It was
I
just
wish
made
I
so
would
much
have done it
sense.
because I could make him look like $1 million at the same
Yeah,
time. Make it look believable that I'm getting offense on him. You know what I mean? I still have, brother. Look, I work out every day, bro. I'm in great shape. I'm in better shape than I've been in my entire life. I'm not kidding you. The COVID, good thing for me, man. I ain't kidding you. I went down in my gym and I'm ripped to shreds. Can you see it? I mean,
absolutely.
going up on there, I'm ripped to shreds. I got about 20-inch arms. I mean, I'm doing good. I'm in great shape.
That's good, man. Looking great for 61.
Two.
62 now.
Yes, sir. 62.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you also about the opportunity you had to be on the Edge and Christian show and the experience you had recording a few things with them.
I love it, man. Them guys are awesome, man. Were they cool? Did you see it? Did you see it,
Mm,
man? I
yeah.
mean, saw what they did for me. I was like, God, man, they did nothing but put me over. I mean, the whole show, they put me over, man. Especially when Christian's sleeping and they just going, Gillberg, Gillberg. In his ear, going, oh, oh. It's the best, man. It's the best. And then we played Hungry Hungry Hippos,
Yeah.
and the one actually did fly up and hit him. It really happened when we were playing. That's why they put it in like that. And then
Oh, that's
Edge
awesome.
it over like he shoved all the marbles over to my side.
That's fun
It
stuff.
was great, man. Those guys are awesome, and they deserve everything they get. They really do. They
I
really are.
agree.
I only met like one or two assholes in the whole entire business, to be honest with you. Really
That's
good guy.
that's good, man. I actually haven't watched WWE very much in the last few years. I don't really enjoy it like I used to. It's not what I remember.
I
Um,
understand.
but February
I,
13th,
I
2017,
remember.
you actually I didn't even know until tonight when I did research. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that Gillberg showed up on Raw to be attacked by Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Uh, were you surprised to get a phone call to be brought in to do something on TV after all these years?
Oh, I don't care. I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, I'm always surprised, but I like doing it because it's a ball, you know. And I told Kevin, he said, okay, I'm gonna run you down. I'm gonna throw you into the, because now the aprons are TV screens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bust that TV screen. He said, I don't know, man. They're pretty hard. I said, you don't know me, Kevin. I hit that TV screen with everything. I had strawberries all over my head and everything, man. It didn't move. I hit the ground. If you remember when he stepped on me to get in the ring, he went, I told you.
That's
He's a
fantastic.
nice guy. He's a nice guy. And
Yeah.
of course, Jericho, I've known Jericho for a long time. He's a great guy. But Kevin's a really good guy. He really is. And I only knew him from TV, so I thought he was an asshole.
um,
And I went up there and met him. I was like, damn, he's a nice guy.
I guess for you, it had been a while since you'd been backstage there in the company, and obviously the company's grown so much over the years. What differences would you say that you saw behind the scenes in 2017 versus back in the Attitude Era?
Everything. Attitudes, security. It I mean, man, when I was there, it was laid back, man. You know, and nobody had an attitude. Everybody was cool. Everything was nice. Now you need damn credentials, everything. It took me,
Right.
and I was booked, and it took
Yeah.
me an hour to get. It took me an hour to get in the building.
Really?
Yeah, I had to go get people at the front office that called me and bring me and walk me through. And then I'm in the locker room, and a bunch of the guys from NXT are like, "Who the fuck are you? What are you doing in here?" I said, "Well, I'm one of the motherfuckers who helped build this fucking place." And then in comes
Exactly.
Shane, and then in comes Sheamus and everybody, "Holy shit, Gillberg!" And they're like, "Oh, fucking Gillberg." You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah,
unbelievable.
it
They
was.
didn't
Yeah,
recognize you.
it was crazy. There's attitudes up there, and I've never seen anything like that, man. WWF has always been so loving, and I mean that's one thing Vince makes sure that he has all good people around there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I never seen anything like that before. It's a lot different, you know. But all like Sheamus and all them guys, man, they're like, "Hey, man, what's up, brother?" And Drew McIntyre, all that, you know what I mean? They all Drew. I remember when Drew came up and all. Drew's a good kid. I like Drew. I like Drew.
I
I was really happy when he.
I'm really happy for him too, and I feel real bad for him in a way because he finally got to win the world championship, and
And didn't get to
he
get all
can't.
the big money from hitting the arenas, man. He could have made
Yeah,
millions. I
and,
mean,
and
millions.
the adulation of having the fans reacting in that moment where you finally make your dream come
He'll
true.
get it back.
It's,
He'll get it back. He will. He'll get it back. He look at him. He's great, man. He's got to get the title back because he would definitely pack houses.
absolutely, he's one of a kind. That guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I wanted to ask you about how you first became friends with one James Ellsworth.
Ellsworth's mother and I grew up together.
Really?
Yes, we went to school together. Everything. Yes, and his dad's a good friend of mine and everything. Yeah. That's how I know. Actually, James Ellsworth, literally, it's very funny because I was on, doing TVs and everything, doing jobs, but I worked at the Board of Education. So I'm at school one day changing light bulbs after being on Raw, and young James Ellsworth walks up to me and says, "Mr. Duane." I said, "Hey, Jamie, how you doing, buddy?" He says, "Aren't you a famous wrestler?" I said, "Well, kind of, yeah, I am." And he goes, "What are you doing in school here?" I said, "Son, one day you'll know. One day you'll know." And little do I know how much it happened. He
Yeah.
became a wrestler and everything. You know what I mean? So he understands 100, but he was smart. He was smart. He saved his money.
Yeah.
He was smart. Jimmy's smart as far as that goes. He saves his money. He's very smart that way. He really is. Jimmy's a good kid. I'm glad to see he got that break. You know what I mean? And they should bring him back. I mean, he's a good piece of talent. He could bring audience back. You know what I mean?
I
He's
agree. Yeah. So how did it get come about that you two ended up would start teaming together on the independent circuit?
Oh, well, when he got released, I was like, "Hey, Jimmy, man, let's have some fun. Come on, man." He's like, "All right, let's do it." I said, "What the hell? You're basically a Gillberg anyway. You're a Duane Gill, you know." He goes, "Yeah, you're right." And I said, "It's awesome, man." I said, "Let's do it." And he said, "Okay, let's do it." And we won the titles and everything, man. We had a good time. And then we did a little feud against each other,
That's
and then
great. Yeah.
he held a show. He held a show and said, "I understand you want to retire because my family, I mean, literally came to me crying, begging me to retire. You're getting old, Dad. You're getting old. Fine, but okay, I'll retire." And I told him I was going to have a retirement match someday. I said, "Look, man, you name it, we'll do it." I said,
Right.
"Really?" I said, "All right." And he said, "Anybody you want, I will pay to have come in and wrestle you. Anybody, you name them, I'll pay to have them come in and wrestle you, Dwayne." I guess because I love the kid to death. You know what I mean? I guess he has feelings about me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he said, "I really will, Dwayne. I'll pay anybody you want." I said, "Well, how about I wrestle you then for my title? He goes, what? I said, yeah, let me wrestle you. He said, really? I said, yeah, man, why not? He goes, wow, that'd be pretty cool. I said, yeah, let's bring it. And I mean, we sold out the place. There
Awesome.
was room only, bro. And they stood around for a half hour after the match, man. It was really touching. People that I had trained that I didn't know were in the audience came up and got in the ring, and they all picked
Wow.
me up. And the whole crowd stood there going, thank you, Gillberg.
Oh, that's
Thank you.
great. What a nice
It was
moment.
really, yeah, it was really touching. But we did it like the old Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels match. He
Yeah.
even looked at me. He even got that thing. He said, I don't love you and I don't feel good, man, about it. He gave me the big old kick and everything. It was cool. The no chin music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
uh,
but I won the light heavyweight title from him that night
yeah.
from his league, ACW. And he said, keep the title. We're going to discontinue to get light heavyweight title. You have just retired it. And I was like,
Oh, that's
oh.
awesome.
So,
Wow.
yeah,
What a great way to go out.
it was. He was really, really some class, man. I tell you, really classy. Really was.
Looking back on your career, Duane, is there anything that you regret, or any decisions that you made that you wish you could take back?
I wish I would have saved my money. That's it. That's it, man. I loved everything I did, everything. And I don't know anything that I did bad or to hurt anybody, or because all I ever do and all I ever want to do is help people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no, I love everything I did. I met some of the most awesome people. I'm friends with some of the coolest people in the world. You know what I mean? And I'm known everywhere. So no, I really don't. I mean, I wish Goldberg would have this match, and I wish I could get the wrestling figures. I was the number one wanted wrestling figure in Jack's Toys, which is the Bible for wrestling figures back when I was doing it.
Yeah.
And for a year and a half, the number one wanted wrestling figure, and they never made one.
That's a shame. Well, hopefully someone can make one for you. I know that there's a way of making custom figurines.
I'm hoping WWE. I mean, they bring back all the legends. They do it. You know what I mean? You know who else? Who else is a really big name and never had one?
Who's that?
Mr. Hughes.
Oh, really?
He won around the world with the heavyweight title. You know what I mean? With the
Yeah.
Undertaker, dude in the world selling out arenas, and he doesn't have one. Like,
I don't get it.
And my book is like 2 to 3 weeks from being in print.
Oh, awesome. Tell me a little bit about that.
It's my book. It's called A Grappler's Journey, man. It's about my life all the way up to Gillberg. And then I'm going to do another one from Gillberg to now.
Oh, that's great. Well, I look forward to reading it.
And then I'm hopefully my partner will do one with me and tell about our tag team experiences. Because I try to keep it the single stuff. You know what I mean? I try to, show that we can do the thing with Barry and have an awesome book together. Because Barry, yeah. I love him to death. He taught me everything and took me around the world, man. I owe him everything. I really do.
Would you say Barry influenced you the most?
Oh, yeah. Barry, well, no, Barry didn't influence me. Barry taught me.
Yeah.
Who influenced me the most, I would honestly say, is like Tony Garea. He influenced me, took us under his wing. He helped us out a lot. He taught us a lot. He really did. Tony Garea, Larry Sharp, man, Rene Goulet, those guys, Chief J. Strongbow, they and I a lot. They really did.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, when we end the show, we have a little segment called 5 Second Frenzy, Duane, where I ask you different questions about yourself, and it's quick fire. And so there's just 10 questions. Who was your favorite wrestler?
I'll say Taker.
Favorite opponent?
Taker.
The favorite match you've ever had?
My favorite match I ever had, to be honest with you, was one that I did on a house show, and I wrestled a friend of mine named Rich Myers, and we were the opening match, and we won out, and I was the executioner. And we wrestled for like 15 minutes, and I beat the hell out of it. But then at the end, he moved and rolled me up. 1, 2, 3. Bro, we took the roof off the place to where the main event was Diesel versus Undertaker. When we walked back into the locker room, Diesel and Undertaker looked at us and went, "Thanks a lot, guys." They're like, "What?" And they go, "How the fuck do we follow that?" I was like,
awesome.
"Wow, man, Rich, did you hear that?" And he's like, "Yeah, you believe this, man?" You know, it was really cool. That was a cool. But I mean, I guess my favorite match, of course, is winning the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite TV show, Duane?
It's like I got a toss up: Iron Resurrection, Texas Metal. You know, I love all that stuff. You know what I mean? Garage Squad. They're my toss ups. I like watching that stuff.
Cool. Your favorite film?
My favorite film, man, I would say, wow, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Hollywood Nights.
Cool.
You ever watch it?
I have not seen it, but I've heard of it.
Oh, watch it. It's about back in the 50s and all. It's funny as hell.
Ah, cool. What's your favorite food?
Steak.
Me too.
Steak, man. I'm a big New York strip guy. As a matter of fact, I just bought a slab about that long of New York strip, and they cut it up. I got it was a really good price too, and I got the slab for like $70, and I got 22.5-inch thick steaks.
Very nice.
You can't beat that.
Definitely not.
New York strip too, baby.
What was your favorite place to eat on the road?
Oh, it was in Boston, and it was I can't remember. It was a steakhouse, and I mean they had a steak. My God, I think it was like Texas Longhorn.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my God, they had a steak. Oh man, me and Barry used to get it all the time. Every time, man. Oh, we're in Boston. Let's go.
What's your favorite alcoholic beverage?
Jaeger.
Very nice.
I love Jaeger bombs. I love Jaeger bombs.
I used to love Jaeger bombs until I had too many of them. What's your favorite female body part?
The ass.
Very good. Same with Bob Holly. He agrees.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, Duane, what is your favorite curse word?
Probably fuck. I use it a lot.
As do I.
You're a fucking man and over fucking air. You know what I mean? I'm a construction worker, man. And before I became a wrestler, I was a sailor, so
of course.
You're done, man. I used to be a cook on a tanker.
Well, I really want to thank you for your time tonight, Duane. I really appreciate it. You have been so much fun to talk to, and
I love it.
Your journey in wrestling is such a wonderful story. And I really look forward to the book because it's just like James. It's that journeyman, you know, and making his dreams come, and lets everyone out there know that it doesn't matter if you look like Hulk Hogan or not. Your dreams can still come true.
Yeah, and the whole point is, don't call them and bug them. They know you're there. Do your thing. They know you're there. Believe me. I don't know how, but they know you're there, and they will call you when they want you. Look at Ellsworth.
Exactly.
That's all I got to say. Ellsworth, they called him and said, "Hey, can you go out and do a job?" Yeah, he went out and did a job, and he said, "Any man with two hands." And they went, "Oh my God." You know what I mean?
Yeah. So before we sign off, I'd like to ask you if you could help we get people to record, well, not record, but just say to the camera, something like, "Hey, this is Gillberg, and you're watching 55 Live."
Oh man, that's man, my pleasure, man. I do one as Gillberg and Duane Gill. How's that?
Sure, sounds great.
You let me know when.
Go.
Hey everybody, it's Gillberg, and you're watching 55 Live.
Unbelievable.
That was a Gillberg one.
Thanks, brother.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Duane Gill. All right, let me
Okay.
let the red come out of my face. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Hey everybody, this is Duane Gill, and you're watching 55 Live. Way to go, boys.
Well, thank you, Duane. I really want to thank you again. And I just want to say once again, as a fan all the way here in Perth, Western Australia, first show I ever watched, you were on it. I followed what you did. I was such a big fan. I laughed every time you came out of that locker room. And I've got some cherished memories because of you. So I just want to thank you and say that I feel like you're an unsung hero in the wrestling business.
Awesome. Thank you very much, man. That makes you feel good because all I want to do is make people laugh, man. That's what I do, you know?
That's excellent,
Thank you so much for the interview. And anytime, brother, you need anything, you just give me a call.
Thanks, Duane. And thank you, everyone out there, for watching 55 Live podcast here in conjunction with the WZWA Network with my friend Gillberg, a.k.a. Duane Gill. And we will see you next time. Thank you.
You got it. See ya.